Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are breaking down the absolutely massive, unprecedented scale of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Listen, this isn't just another tournament. It's the 23rd edition of a massive global phenomenon, and it's gearing up to be the biggest one ever held. Period. We've got a lot of ground to cover based on the incredible source data we're looking at today, so let's get right into it.
All right, let's kick things off with our first staggering number, 48. That's 48 competing national teams. This single number represents a monumental shift for the sport, making this the most expansive tournament in the entire history of international football. It's a huge leap that completely changes the dynamic of the competition.
Next up, 3. That is the number of host countries. For the very first time ever, 3 separate nations are going to be sharing hosting duties. It's a historic first that brings a whole new level of cross-border collaboration to the table. And as you can probably imagine, some pretty massive travel logistics.
And finally, we have 104. That is the mind-blowing total number of matches that will be played over the course of the event. Just let that sink in for a second. 104 matches. The sheer scale here is just off the charts.
Now, to help wrap our heads around this enormous event, we've structured this explainer into 4 quick sections. First, the biggest tournament ever. Second, 3 nations, 16 cities. Third, the all-new match format. And fourth, global impact and underdogs.
Starting right off with Section 1, the biggest tournament ever, a massive expansion.
So, we're officially moving away from the previous era of 32 teams and stepping into a massive new era with 48. Think about that. That is literally a 50% increase in participation. For decades, fans were used to a very specific rhythm and flow with 32 teams. But this expansion, it completely rewrites the playbook.
Because of this massive expansion, you are definitely going to want to clear your calendars for roughly 39 days. Starting June 11th and running all the way to the final on July 19th, 2026, we are looking at a 39-day continental football festival. It is an absolute dream for soccer fans to have over a month of nonstop action, though, let's be honest, it's probably going to be a bit of a productivity nightmare for everyone else.
Moving right along to Section 2. 3 nations, 16 cities, sharing the stage.
So where is this all actually happening? Well, out of the 16 host cities, the United States takes the lion's share with 11, stretching everywhere from LA to Boston. Canada steps in with Toronto and Vancouver, and Mexico brings Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. Pulling this off across all these multiple time zones is honestly just as impressive as the matches themselves. And the geographical journey of the tournament is beautifully bookended. The opening match will kick off at the historic Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, a venue that is just steeped in incredible soccer history. Then, 39 days later, the entire world's eyes will shift north as the whole thing culminates with the final at MetLife Stadium in the New Jersey and New York area. It's a really fantastic continental narrative.
Of course, you can't have a shared cultural event of this magnitude without mascots, right? A moose, a jaguar, and a bald eagle walk into a stadium. It sounds like the setup to a joke, but it actually beautifully represents the diverse wildlife of the 3 host nations. We've got Maple the moose for Canada, Zayu the jaguar for Mexico, and Clutch the bald eagle for the USA. It's just a fun, engaging way to unify the distinct flavors of the host countries. Okay, let's hit Section 3, the all-new match format, how 48 teams compete.
First, let's talk about how those 48 slots are actually carved up globally. The expansion ensures representation from every single corner of the planet. Europe obviously leads the pack with 16 slots, but notice the major boosts for Africa, jumping up to 9, and Asia moving to 8. North and Central America, along with South America, get 6 each, Oceania is guaranteed 1, and 2 spots are reserved for intercontinental playoffs. This creates a much more balanced global footprint than we have ever seen before. Let's see how this plays out on the actual pitch. The new mechanics are surprisingly straightforward when you break them down into these 3 steps. Step 1. The 48 teams are divided into 12 groups of 4, where each plays 3 matches. Step 2 is where it gets really interesting. The top 2 teams from each group automatically advance, but so do the 8 best third-place teams. This ensures that 32 teams survive the initial 72 group stage matches, which keeps the stakes incredibly high for almost every single game.
And that leads us directly to the round of 32. This newly added knockout stage is a massive change from previous tournaments, which always started their knockouts at the round of 16. By adding this round, the tournament introduces a whole new layer of single elimination stakes much earlier on. Once you hit this stage, losing means immediate elimination. No second chances.
So, do the math with me here. When you add those 72 group stage matches to the grueling 32 knockout matches, you reach that staggering final count of 104 total matches we mentioned at the very start of this explainer. It is a massive marathon of a tournament, requiring deep rosters and incredible endurance from any team that wants to make it all the way to July 19th.
Which brings us to our final section, global impact in underdogs. Underdogs arise.
Expanding the field isn't just about playing more matches or selling more tickets, it fundamentally changes the fabric of the event. It results in the most diverse participation ever. It means smaller nations and perennial underdogs finally get their shot on the absolute biggest world stage. And with unprecedented global broadcasting access planned, entire countries are going to get to watch their local heroes compete, inspiring the next generation of players globally. And honestly, every single one of those underdog dreams, every stunning goal, and every historic moment is going to revolve around this, the official Adidas match ball, beautifully named the Trioranda. That one single sphere will be the focal point of the entire world's attention for 39 straight days across 16 different cities.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as we count down to June 2026. With an expanded field of 48 teams, an intense new knockout format, and endless possibilities for underdogs to shock the world, which nation will actually rise up and conquer the continent? It's going to be a fascinating journey to watch unfold. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep that curiosity alive.